So I think I speak for everyone when I say I was surprised the short has actual emotional depth, and it has actual character development for Moxxie, in a way we haven't seen since the first short, Hell's Bells. And for once it isn't just a fun shenanigan episode full of wacky hijinks, or an episode that has development but then undercuts it with a joke that is just negative for the characters involved. The idea of Moxxie being sent on a solo hit on a mob boss family is honestly so great. I find it really interesting that Blitz kind of intentionally set up Moxxie to go on this mission. I wonder if he wanted him to get some closure. I mean, part of it was he wanted to go on the leeching trip with Millie, but he definitely knew what he was doing here. And Moxxie ends up relating to the son being chewed out by his father. But it's really interesting looking back on the context of what's being said, because it could still be taken that the son was being unfairly treated, but the way the father acts, he says things like he was never loyal to the family, and the son is trying to defend himself like, oh, I had to, the other guy was a rat, you gotta believe me. And it's interesting because even his case file points out that the target was snooping around the inventory of his own mob family. So that was already a hint that he was going to be duplicitous. And of course Moxxie being Moxxie messes it up by sneezing behind the angel. Just the quietest little sneeze. I really like the addition of the mob guy being like, but I'm religious or something. It's so legit. And it fits so well with a mob family, with how they're religious even though they do the most heinous shit. Him leaving his father and then flipping him off behind the door is just also peak. Very relatable. So Moxxie flounders and has to do his really bad angel spooky voice, spoken in really bad Shakespearean, just adding eth onto every word. He quickly starts relating to the son, asking him questions about his situation and his home life, and understandably relating it to himself and the experiences he went through with his own father. Moxxie thinks he wants out of the crime life and away from an abusive father, so he agrees to help him. There are honestly some really gold jokes in this episode.
You never gave a fettuccine fuck about this family.
And,
Holy, my son, the seed of my salami.
That one gets me. I don't know why. And the last one being when Moxxie freaks out after the son almost gets himself killed trying to find his escape route because he decided to say like an angel was talking to him and helping him escape. And I guess they thought he was just crazy and wanted to murk him.
What the fuck was that?
But honestly, Moxxie was so smooth for saving him that way, that fast. And he managed to do it without being seen. I really like the direction that they went with Moxxie, keeping himself hidden the entire time, pretending to be an angel. It really hammered in the differences that he is a literal demon, pretending to be an angel, but also it really fits Moxxie's character and how kind and compassionate he can be. Him posing as an angel is just really peak writing. It really leans into the themes both Has-Been Hotel and Helluva Boss have that show that demons can be good and angels can be pieces of garbage that are just wanton murderers and just in it for the thrill of killing. Meanwhile, IMP has slowly been developing more morals over time and showing us the situations that give them pause and make them question what they're doing, even if the kills do still end up happening for one reason or another. Moxxie is a kind person at heart, even though he is still an assassin and was a mobster, and definitely enjoys killing as well. The appeal of Helluva Boss and Has-Been Hotel is showing that even bad people can still be good in their own ways. They can still be kind to others and compassionate and supportive. And even if they're all whacked up in the most insane cartoonish ways, and sometimes not cartoonish as well, like Crimson, they're still treated with a degree of humanity in their actions and their support of each other. And they're still treated as human in a sense. Which is why when the father turns around and says he's going to sacrifice his own life to save his sons, it was nice to see. For the most part, the shorts have been played pretty straight so far. There hasn't really been any big emotional moments, except for Sally Mae opening up to Millie that she felt like she left her for the city life and all this brand new good stuff that the farm life back in Wrath didn't have for her. and in the end they reconcile and promise to see each other more often. This is the first short that sort of has a tragic ending that's played seriously. The son starts gloating about how his father's going to be out of the way now, and he's just ecstatic and does not give two rats of an ass that his father is going to die. Even though his father specifically wanted him to take care of his mother too. It adds a lot of context to the complicated feelings Moxxie has towards his family. And it shows that it doesn't matter if you're a father or a son, a mob boss or not, you could still just be a piece of shit. And this realization cuts Moxxie deeply. I seriously haven't seen him this pissed since X's and O's, which is understandable because the context is very similar. It is the deepest wound Moxxie carries with him. And realizing that a mob father could actually care for his son, I think it hits extra deep for Moxxie because I feel like since Moxxie is still an assassin, he doesn't have a problem killing. So it almost makes me wonder that if Crimson was a better father to Moxxie, that Moxxie might have just stayed in the family and might have just been the mob boss's son. And that he could have just been happy where he was. He could have been happy with his father, and his mother wouldn't have had to have died. Because the human mob boss shows that he cared for his wife and he cared for his son and was literally willing to die to save his son. It hurts. And Moxxie killing the guy with the angel statue is just chef's kiss. It's so good. It's poetic justice at its finest. Moxxie might be a demon, but he certainly has the spirit of at least a good-hearted angel. And I really love how Moxxie pulls off the mob voice at the end and just does it perfectly, as opposed to the really goofy angel voice. But the ending with Millie is really what tied this entire episode together and made it feel like a complete story with emotional resonance. Moxxie opens up to Millie about how garbage his father was, and she's confused until he explains that he realizes he didn't have to be as bad and awful as he was. He just assumed he had to be, and he breaks down crying as she consoles him. And it's such a sad, heartbreaking moment for Moxxie, as he internalizes what this means for him and just how bad his life was with his father. And honestly, the short could have ended there. It could have ended on a really sad, tragic note. But I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because they have the little end extra credits scene, where Moxxie is enjoying the leech, and him and Millie have a little bit of banter about it. And I really like that it shows how much Blitz also cares about Moxxie, that he ended up giving Moxxie the leech that he caught for him to enjoy. It's such a nice little detail that shows how much they all care for each other. And it's really nice and wholesome to see Moxxie and Millie spend time together in their own home, and also we get to see what their kitchen looks like and see more of their home. It was unexpected to see an end credit scene, but I feel like it worked well to shift the mood back to something lighthearted instead of just ending on something pretty depressing for Moxxie. But also just the canonical development is really nice to see in these shorts. And it's even crazier that it's written by the same guy who did Orphan Time and Bad Drive Zo. So yeah, I really like this short. It's definitely one of my top favorite shorts for sure. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my recommendations at the end.